You want to tell us your name and what you did today?
Yeah, so I'm Mike Volpe. I top 32, 20th place at the Philadelphia Regional for September 2025.
And what did you play?
I played Yummy today.
Alrighty, let's see the list.
Yeah. So everything else pretty standard here. It's just 3 Cupsy, the 3 Cookie, 3 Lolly. Super easy, super standard. You need as many names as you can. Not too difficult. After that, same thing. 3 Obedient Schooled.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
True.
The 3 Engages and the Hornet Drones.
Yep.
Max out on everything. On everything. I don't think
everything.
on everything. I think almost every time that I saw Obedient School today, I saw it in multiples, which was kind of ridiculous. So I was a little surprised, but I can't really complain.
It's because you played the rares.
Because I played the rares, for sure. And then rounding out the rest of the spells, it was 2 Surprise. Wouldn't be surprised if I played 3, no pun intended, but really liked it at 2. Never really needed more. Never would play less. Played 1 of each. You need both. Super great to have this to make your board. Nibiru was everywhere today. Even in decks I didn't really expect it to be, so I was a little bit happy that the Ekroki was in here. And the last spell, we just played a Talents. Kind of really couldn't think of an extra spot. Some people will have Call By in the spot, some people will have Prosperity in the spot, but I was really comfortable with Talents. I only really resolved it once today, and it didn't win games, but that was just today. There were other games where I saw it won games in testing and other events. So that's really that in terms of the spells. Other non-engine we had here, strictly just the hand trap build of the deck. Besides the Talents, all non-engine in here was all hand traps. Today we did 3 Veiler. Considered cutting this card down lower just because it's like just Veiler, but you realize games 2 and 3, this is really important to draw off of a Cupsy on your opponent's turn, as opposed to like an Imperm. Then you have 3 Ash, 3 Fuwalos, 3 Purge, 3 Shiny Imperms. All these are super standard within the deck, so really this ratio doesn't change across the board. And then we kind of did the 2 Ogre, 2 Bell. Loved both of these today. Ogre was like semi-impactful, but I still like it in the corner cases that it does come up. Bell was great today all day for Lupuses, for the Mirror, for Draco Tail. I could consider moving this out of the main. I would never move this out of the main. Bell is ridiculous.
Would you play 3?
I would consider 3, but I don't know if it's going to be generic enough to be played at 3. Also, this was mostly a 2 for sighting patterns, which was fine. But I would not be opposed to playing 3 after the list and all of that. So we can move on to the extra deck next. So for extra deck, same thing, 1 of each. 3 of that, 1 of each. Amirage, never cut this card. Fantastic all day. Times where you know summon a hand trap, just so that way you don't lose to like 1 piece of removal. And there was actually a time where I had the protection effect come up to the point where my opponent wanted to pop my Striker token, and I actually attributed this to protect the token when they used X-Force Liberation. So that actually came up and was super relevant.
You're the first person to resolve that effect.
First person to resolve that effect. Ridiculous. It actually came up. Kagari was great all day. I don't know why people cut this card. Link Spider's ridiculous. I use so many Nib tokens to extend, and I also use the World Legacy token to extend as well. That actually was a super great enabler in my last round. And then we played SP. We played Inari. Inari was great. I only summoned it probably 3 times today, but the one time I did summon it, I actually punched into an access code to burn my Malice opponent for game because they paid so much life, which was really funny. They had also banished the field spell, the minions, so really struggled for game on that one, but I had enough life to the point where I could kind of just crash into it and burn him for game because he was at like 1300.
That's really funny.
Starham. Card came up today. Once again, you only really have this for corner cases. Like, for the most part, for the entire extra deck, you'll only make, on average, 7 or 8 of these cards regularly. Outside of that, everything else is just corner case utility because you don't really need much else. The deck pretty much does everything by itself. So yeah, so Starham was good.
Would you consider cutting it after the list since school is at 1?
I don't think so. There's a couple cases where you would, summon 2 guys off of the Lollipo, and you would use your negated guys to summon Starham, and then Starham would reborn one of your materials now not negated.
Yeah.
Also, this comes up as a board breaker piece where you can just kind of put a ton of guys into like a cookie into this and then reborn the cookie and use it as a pop. So that was also important. That didn't come up today, but it has come up before. I would not cut Starham unless there were to be some major changes to the extra deck, but I believe the list doesn't really entail anything for the extra deck. And then it's Marcher. It does Marcher things.
Yep.
We played 1 Arclight today. It was funny when I saw the list and they were cutting this down to 1, and I was like, oh great, I was planning on playing 1 anyway. Whoop-de-doo. The Arclight changed to 1. The Arclight change to 1 doesn't really make a difference except for the people who are trying to play like the Mitsurugi version of the deck where you burn the Arclight to search the Habakiri and now you just don't have Arclight anymore. Card was great today. Baited a lot of X and a lot of droplets and a lot of imperms. Like, I might have actually resolved the negate for this twice all day because it was just so targeted. But the Floodgate part is really important because this Draco Tail gets FTK by this card. Sofador gets FTK by this card. So it's really, really good. And the last card I played in the extra deck was kind of last minute choice here. I decided to play Mega Fleet. This was like the second Arclight spot. And we kind of went into the event and I had considered that the only deck I was really scared of all day was Canine Crystron because that deck can go over the top really easily. And you can just use one of their guys in the EMZ as well as the Infinity to just like wipe a quarter of their board, a third of their board just with this guy as a contact fusion. Now at the end of the day, I only played 1 today and he played around it by absorbing the monster in the EMZ with the Infinity. Don't think I'd play this going forward just because I think people are smart enough to play around it enough to the point where it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't think I ever would, like, across my entire day, had a board that could have been Mega Fleeted.
Nope. Hindsight, I don't know what I would put in that spot. Other considerations were like IP and Secure Garda because IP could be a end board piece if you really need it to, and Secure Garda can make your IP into a Link 1. So,
what do you think of a Lyrilusk and Zeus?
I don't think I would play the Lyrilusk just because you have to put in the extra work to get 2 level 1 bodies on field that requires you to get a Link 1 or a Synchro 2, which you're already playing the game if you get to that point.
Yeah.
In turn, same thing, probably wouldn't play Zeus either. The other consideration for this spot was also Typhon. Typhon would have came up once today and it probably would have won me that game, but I'm not a personal fan of Typhon, but it's a consideration.
What were we siding?
And in regards to the side, all we did today, we kind of kept it pretty simple. It was 3 Perulia. This was really in here for Ryzel, which I only played once today. And we kind of had the idea to side this in against Vanquish Soul. Is at the end of the day, Vanquish Soul, you want to prevent the deck from going over the top, so you don't really need to break the boards. You just kind of want to scare them into not going over the top. And if they take the challenge, so be it, dog. That was also kind of the same method for the Drolls here. Also not a fan of Droll in this deck because a lot of your follow-up can be searched or hand traps drawn into on your opponent's turn. I would usually side this in going second, but going first, I wouldn't really do that just because I'm not trying to cut off my own follow-up or sequence my plays in such a way that Droll will cut off the rest of my engine for the next turn. And then after that, we played 2 Contact Seas and 2 Retaliating Seas. Only played 1 Draco Tail today, and I didn't see it. Not a problem. I mean, this card's really good against that matchup, and for the same reasons in where you'd be playing the generic guys, whether you'd be playing stuff like the IPs or Haggard Lizard or the SP or something like that. Like, you have ways to get rid of it, but this card is so impactful in that matchup. I just didn't see it today, which is fine. And the Contact Seas were kind of in here for the mirror, but I wasn't really sure if people were going to be playing around this card in the mirror. I only dropped this card twice. One was against Draco Tail, which did kind of stop him from fusing on my turn, which was nice. And then I did FTK a Yummy player by this because he didn't open enough. So Contact Seed twice did its job. Not sure if I would keep this going forward, but it's certainly a consideration. Something I'd have to look into kind of with the new listing for Anaheim. And then we did Call By. I stacked a lot of people with this card today. Usually this just gets swapped for Talons, whether you're going first or second. I feel like personally Talons has a little more versatility going first or second. And this card exclusively is like, I'm trying to not get hand trapped to death. So the Call By's in here for that reason. Usually this gets swapped in one for one with Sighting. And then we played the 3 Judgments. Unironically, I never drew more than 1 Judgment at a time, and the only Judgment I drew today was the Super. I do not have a 3rd secret, so the Super Judgment, yeah, I'll leave it at that. And the last card I played in the side deck, here was just the Cross Sheep. I was terrified of Contact Seed. I played the Gamer's Choice Regional in New York, and I got Contact Seed left and right. Really wish I had that card in here. Hindsight, also, this card could have been in there with the Mega Fleet. This was literally in here for only Game 1, because I wanted to break that board if they weren't playing around at Game 1. And then afterwards, this stayed in for Games 2 and 3. There was no reason, even if I was playing against K9 Crystron, no reason outside of Game 1 really to keep this there. But just wanted it for that surprise factor. Hindsight, going forward, if I want to cut this card, I would also consider just putting this here. It came up not today because I didn't get Contact Seed, and any tokens I got were just Link Spidered away. But I forgot to swap these guys for one of my Vanquish Soul games that matches that I lost. And I took a Raisin with Talents after Obedient Schooling, and I wasn't able to link it off into this Cross Sheep. So I gave him back the Raisin, which kind of gave him enough gas to keep going. But also something you can do under Obedient School is just taking guys and linking them off. You can just put them into Cross Sheep. Also the Synchro attack boost, I believe it is. Yeah, the attack boost can come up for the OTKs because you're just summoning guys left and right. But it's, once again, one of these other kind of tech pieces in here where this isn't necessary because you only really need 8 cards in this extra deck. Everything else is just utility.
Must be nice.
And that was pretty much all I had. Had a good time today. Really surprised at my results. I didn't really do much testing going into the event, so I was very pleasantly surprised that I kind of kept a nice, cool head when going through the rounds, especially given that one of my losses was round 2. So I think I lost rounds 2 and 7, and I didn't know if I was going to make it this far, but I'm super happy that I did. Get the invite out of the way, and hopefully this will be a good learning experience to kind of go into Anaheim with in a couple weeks.
Any shout-outs?
So first we'll do shout-outs to the guys behind the camera, Tom and Miko respectively. Super great guys. Love everything they do for their channels, and really great guys to be around with at all times. Shout out to at all times.
Or once a kiss.
In regards to the all the other guys in the group chat, Matt for basically getting me any card I want whenever I want. Also super great. Everybody else knows who they are: Owen, Josh, Bryce, Jordan, Chance, who dropped at X2 for some reason today, but hey, we love you, Chance.
Do we want to exclude Mondo?
Nah, yeah, fuck Mondo.
This is the second video on my channel in a row where we've gotten a fuck Mondo.
Yeah, fuck Mondo. But yeah, I think that's really it. So really appreciate you guys doing this today, and yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Congrats.
Shout out your girlfriend.
Oh yeah, I should shout out my girlfriend, and also our family got a dog today, so shout out Echo. But yes, shout out my girlfriend as well. She's great. I should have done that earlier, but hey, it is what it is.
We're gonna edit out Miko telling you.
It's fine. It's fine. She'll just beat me later.
All right, go get your slip.
Yeah, I'll go get my slip.